Hari Om Manya, please present
Hari Om.
2.62 and 2.63, your understanding, and let's contemplate on that.
Yes. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So here are the word-to-word meanings of both the shlokas. But in case any one of you wants to particularly refer to any word, you may now pause the video and go through it. Moving to the meaning directly, while contemplating on the objects of the senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire arises anger. But one who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the objects of senses, attains the grace of God. Let us understand the meaning of the shloka. There are many sicknesses in the world, and we identify many diseases. The various examples of diseases that come to our mind when we think of the word disease would be cancer, diabetes, and some diseases that we classify as mental diseases, which are related to our mind, are depression and anxiety. But our scriptures, the Vedas, all of them, they identify another set of diseases, which we probably do not even think of as diseases, but we associate them with normal emotions that happen and we come across in day-to-day life. An example of such disease would be anger and greed. Not only do our Vedas talk about these diseases, but they also tell us on how we could overcome these two diseases, the anger and the greed. So let us understand the root cause of anger and greed. When we ask ourselves this question and try to think of that incident when we were last angry, then I'm sure we would come to the answer that it was related to some kind of desire that we had. Now, let me present to you an example. Let's say it's a sunny day and you just helped your mom out and she promises to buy you an ice cream. But since it's already evening, you plan to eat it next day, somewhere in the afternoon after coming back from school. So you keep it in the fridge and you go to school. You come back to home from school. You're also happy and excited to place the juicy, icy ice cream in your mouth because it's so sunny, you're so tired. You open the fridge, but then you see there's no ice cream. Why? Because your sibling just ate that ice cream up. So now what you're experiencing might be anger. You're filled with this emotion, which we now know that it is a disease. You know that you're very angry and you might just get into a fight with your sibling. But now you might tell me that, so I am not really, it just isn't in my control. With the environment, so if this desire that I had, if it were fulfilled, then there would be no problem at all. And that is what you think. So you get the ice cream, you become very happy. But now let's change the situation. You open the fridge, you found ice cream. So you take 1 spoon of the ice cream, keep it in your mouth. Wow, what a feeling. And now you keep another spoon of ice cream. You want some more. keep eating. It's almost half empty. And now you're kind of satisfied. You don't want to eat any more of the ice cream, right? But then you do have the little thought in your mind, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll eat more ice cream. You keep it back. So this desire gets into this loop. So what we think now is that when our desire is satisfied, we do not have any kind of problem. So this thought is just like trying to extinguish fire with the help of some ghee. Do you think it's actually possible? Would you be successful? It would be just for a second before this fire would increase, and it would spread even more once you're done pouring ghee. Here, I'd like to narrate a very small story. So there was this trader who made his king very happy. This king had a huge kingdom, a lot of land. It seemed as if uh, more than half of the earth was under his kingdom. So this man, because he did something that made the king so happy, the king gives him a boon. Anything, you can ask me anything you like. So this man says, I'm going to take my horse and start from morning and start riding. In that one day, how much ever land that my horse passes through should become mine. You should give all of that land to me. So the next day morning, this man sits on his horse and he starts riding and riding and riding. 1 acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, and then he just goes on and on and on. And by afternoon, he is the owner of thousands of acres of land. He's become that rich and he's owned so much of land, almost more than half of the kingdom of his king. He should have stopped there, right? But no, he said, when I have the chance, why not take more? So he kept riding and riding and riding without giving a pause to the horse, not being able to like feed the horse some hay or to be letting the horse to drink some water. But he just keeps on riding. At some point, the horse slows down and he kicks the horse harder and he says, ride on. But at one point, the horse has no more energy and stamina and it just collapses. And the man, he falls down and his head hits a big boulder and he dies on spot. So this was an example of greed. And ultimately, all the people buried this man in just 2 yards of land. And that was all. And that 2 yards of land was only of any use to him, and the rest of the land just went waste. And we all know that we can't take anything from this world after our death. But still, greed does not leave us behind. It's become a part of us. It has become a disease that we've all been infected to. To conclude, we now know that the root cause of the two diseases that we've spoken about, anger and greed, the root cause is desire. So when we fulfill desire, we become greedy. We want more. And once we've satisfied ourselves a little bit, we want even more. And we get into the cycle of greed and desire and fulfillment, greed, desire, fulfillment. So we get into the cycle and the cycle keeps on going until we come to this point where the fulfillment of our greed is no more possible. And that's when we obstruct our desire. We are not able to fulfill this desire, and that leads to anger. Anger, according to Lord Krishna, leads to an illusion, and illusion leads to this bewildered state of memory. And once our memory is bewildered, it ruins our intellect. And that leads to us to go to hell. But hell is not some place which is something which we might attain after we die. But then, due to anger, our life and the lives of people around us become hell. And hell, we associate it to some place where there's lot of suffering, where there's no happiness at all, no matter what, and everybody is just sad, or there is something happening that's making you sad. And that's exactly how someone's life could be, their life could be hell if they're angry due to this obstruction of desire. Now that we know about this disease and the root cause, the next obvious question is, what is the cause of desire? The cause of desire is attachment. We could desire for anything only if we are attached to it. For example, I may be attached to chocolate, and that is the reason I have this repeating desire for chocolate. And that is the same for anything. But why do we have attachment? Is it because of the qualities of the object? Not necessarily. It is because of what we keep telling about it. We say, I find happiness when I eat chocolate. And that's the reason I keep getting this desire, or I first become attached to this chocolate, and then there's a repetition of the desires of the chocolate. So we now know that the cause of desire is attachment. So is it really possible to not be attached at all? Let us take this example of you walking in a desert. So as you keep walking in the desert for, let's say, 3 days, you're very thirsty because you've ran out of all the water you carried. And now you're searching for water. But then there's desert all around. Now you keep walking and you find some source of water. You are very happy for a second until you walk closer and you find that it's a mirage. And all of a sudden, all your happiness shatters and you become sad again. Now you keep walking forward, you find another source of water and you are happy until you realize that it's a mirage. So this is the example I gave you, but this is nothing but how our life works. This desert is this world, or the materialistic things we find in our life. And we try to obtain happiness. We think happiness is something that we'll find in these materialistic things. And as soon as you realize or you find that happiness, you realize in a second that the happiness does not exist, and suddenly you feel sad. So just like how pointless it is to be finding water in a desert, it's just as pointless to be finding happiness in the materialistic things or in our life. So where do we find happiness in? So let us ask ourselves, what can make me greedy? What can I keep finding the desire for? So I might find desire for gold, or for a piece of land, or more land and more land. I might be greedy for money. But have you ever been greedy for air? Have you ever been greedy to breathe in more oxygen and more oxygen? Not really, right? Because you know that there's so much of air, there's this abundance of oxygen, at least now, that you don't have to worry about being greedy. So you just know that it's keeping you alive, and you feel good when you breathe in, when you take that fresh breath, but you're still not greedy. So we can conclude that we need to attach ourselves to something that's abundant and actually gives us happiness. In the previous slokas of the Bhagavad Gita, we understood why we have this attachment in us and why we cannot be far from attachment, because our soul, it keeps having this desire to merge with God and to be one with God. And that's the answer. Just keep telling yourself, I find happiness in God, and become attached to God. And thus, even though you have this desire and attachment to God, you should still be happy and free from these two desires, namely anger and greed, just by taking your attachment from these materialistic things or the objects of senses and placing it towards God, which is what we've been wanting to be one with, which we've been wanting to attain from the millions of lives that we've lived so far. I hope I could put across my understanding and what I learned through this shloka. Thank you.
Excellent, Manya. Very nice presentation. So, who wants to summarize what you heard from Manya? What are the key points that you picked up from Manya's presentation? Let's hear to each one of you. Yeah, Namit.
So, what Manya basically and what she mainly stressed on is that we shouldn't be greedy. She gave many examples of mirage and other illusions which we think are real. So we need to be aware and we should be happy with what we have because we will get it. We need to have belief that God will give us and so we shouldn't be greedy. For example, like Manya gave an example of that ice cream. Obviously, we can get another ice cream, so we shouldn't be greedy, and also there anger will also if we fight once again some other people won't talk to us and they feel he or she always gets angry. Why should they talk to them? So they try to ignore. So if we be angry, it will come back to us just like karma. We need to be aware of what we are doing, or else whatever we do comes back to us. So greediness shouldn't be there. And I have one more story about. Can I tell them?
Now, before you go there, let me ask you a question. So, for example, now you want to get good marks in the exam. Isn't that then related to what you're calling as greed? Or let's say you want to go into some higher education in some particular college. You may have different kinds of ambition. I want to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Aren't they also greedy then? Isn't that also desire then?
We can call it as desire, but I don't think it is greediness, because I want to become a doctor is all like some aim in life. We need to have an aim in life. And
I want to eat ice cream is a aim.
uh, so
Be happy with only fifth grade. Why you should aim for engineering or medicine or law?
Because it so that we can study and be in a good job. Studying fifth standard does we can't do any job like related to engineering or aerospace technology like that.
Yeah, so like how you gave the example of somebody being greedy for ice cream. Now, can it be said that you're being greedy for a job, you're being greedy for doing aerospace work?
No, but because if we are like, I want a job, it is like if it's an expectation, not like I want the job. If it doesn't come also, it's I need to make some improvement, and then it can come.
Then why not we apply the same logic for ice cream? Okay, if the ice cream is there, it's okay. If it is not there, it's okay. But my choosing to eat the ice cream itself, why I should stop that?
So can you repeat?
So you're saying that having a aim, like I want to be an aerospace engineer or whatever else, is okay as long as I work for it If I get also, I'm okay. If I don't get also, I'm okay. That's what you said, correct?
Yeah. If we don't, if we need to be, if we don't get, we need to try to improve, and we'll get.
So why not apply the same logic for ice cream also? What is wrong in an ice cream desire? How is the ice cream desire different from a aeronautical desire?
So ice cream desire is like, is just something a want. If it a want means if it's without it also, you can live, and without ice
Without
cream
being
also.
a without being an aeronautical engineer, also one can lead a life. There are so many people who haven't even gone to school. They also live. So why only aeronautical engineers can make a living? Others also can make a living.
Yeah, but and not only aeronautical engineers, whoever study well at any other job like medicine or anything, they can also they can also lead a good life.
Without studying, also many people lead a good life.
Uh, uh, yeah, they lead.
Okay. So reflect on that question. Let's
Yeah.
hear what Megha and Aditya have to say. Aditya, what about you?
Can I answer your question, or do I have to say something else?
Okay, you can in whichever order you feel.
So for your question, the aeronautic.
Okay, first of all, state the question. What is the question? And come closer.
So you're asking how being an aeronautic engineer or having an ice cream, both, how are they different?
Are they different? Are the desire for having ice
Yeah.
cream and the desire for aeronautical engineer different?
So basically, what I understand is they're not different. They're both desires, but what's wrong in that is you're attached to the results of your actions, which is wrong. But you should, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put the sufficient effort. Whatever result you get, that you should be satisfied with that and do your best. So you should be, there is nothing wrong in aiming to be an aeronautic engineer or aiming to get ice cream, but thinking that your happiness is getting the thinking that your source of happiness is the aeronautic engineer or the ice cream, that is what is wrong. So you should be happy even if you don't get ice cream or even if you're not an aeronautic engineer.
But if you're happy, even if you are not an aeronautical engineer, would it encourage you to, okay, anyway, my happiness is not in being aeronautical engineer or whatever?
Exactly, but you shouldn't be attached to the results. But you should always put in your best, even though you might or might not get.
But won't that logic, see, when you say that my life depends on being an aeronautical engineer, if I don't become an aeronautical engineer, my life has no meaning. Versus, I'm anyway happy. Okay, let me also be an aeronautical engineer.
Yeah.
Would it reduce the sense of enjoyment, or would it reduce the sense or the energy that you put to become that?
No, it won't.
How come?
Because you know that you're going to be happy either way. So you're going to do your best.
But won't it reduce your motivation to give your best to become an aeronautical engineer? Because if you say, I'm happy either way, okay, I'm here also happy, there also happy. What is that? Okay, okay, forget it.
But benefits others, right? When you're an aeronautic engineer, that's the difference.
But anyway, the benefit is for what? To be happy, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying anyway, I'm
Not
happy.
only you, but others around you as well.
You can tell the others also, be happy with whatever you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Manya have a viewpoint on the questions being raised?
Yes, Vijayji. So I completely agree with Aditya because it's correct. The desire for ice cream and the desire for being an aeronautical engineer are both desires, but one shouldn't be attached to this the fruit of the fruit or the results, because that is something that we need to offer to Krishna. and it's not something that we should be dependent on, or our emotions should be dependent on. Now, on the question whether, so on the question whether we should desire the ice cream or desire the aeronautical engineer, I'll put the ice cream later, but then the desire to be an aeronautical engineer is sounds better, or like fits better into the lessons of the Bhagavad Gita, when we say that as a student, it's my duty to be able to like, now that someone has given me education, my parents have educated me, my teachers have put in, it becomes the duty of the student to study. Now it's again, it's not necessary that it's not my duty if my teachers don't teach me at school, but still, because I'm a student, it becomes my fundamental duty to be studying. So now I have this option, a variety of options, whether to be a doctor or an engineer or a soldier or a lawyer or a judge. But I must choose something which I feel I'll do good at, which I might be able to contribute to the society. And that's how it becomes a duty, and we become a tool of Krishna, through which we'll be serving people or doing a duty, just like how Arjun fought the battle, but as the tool of Krishna. But then why not be attached to the results? Because the flute cannot really, the flute cannot really say that the music that's coming out is because of me. It's because of the person who's blowing through the flute. So similarly, we could associate to the flute, and thus it becomes wrong when we become attached to the flutes, or say that it's because of how I studied that now I've become an aeronautical engineer. But it's also the circumstances, the situations, and the so many other things that led to this to happen, which is not in our control and in the control of Krishna. And thus, being a tool, we wouldn't say that it's been kind of attached to the result, and that's how it's our duty to do that.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how I would associate that with eating an ice cream. I can't really say it's my duty to finish the ice cream.
So you see some kind of a difference between the desire for ice cream and desire to be an aeronautical engineer.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what is your opinion on the other question? If, let's say, the source of happiness is not in being an aeronautical engineer or in eating the ice cream. So if the source of happiness is not that, then is the motivation to be an aeronautical engineer or the motivation to do anything in life goes away. Then what is there no motivation? Means there is no energy to achieve that, accomplish that.
Like to achieve, okay, so here there's a difference between the desire to, like a desire to or have the sense of duty to be an aeronautical engineer, and to have this sense of duty to be able to serve the society through designing aircrafts and being working in that field of science. So one could be that you could this that, but then if you want to serve the society only through your designs and to be able to build the aircrafts, then I think it's only one way that you be an aeronautical engineer. But then there's so many other ways which one could apply to be able to do the same thing and serve the society in a particular way in which they feel they do the best. But if there are no other ways, then as they said, there's always a way when there's a will. So one could create their own way of
No,
being
that is
able
not the
to.
question. The question is, the source of happiness, you also said in your presentation, is not in the object, correct? So the ice cream is not the source of happiness. Aeronautical engineer is not the source of happiness.
Yeah.
Which
It's,
means that the happiness is inherent.
yeah.
Okay. Then why at all should I become an aeronautical engineer?
Because as I said, yeah, it's correct, because it would be wrong to say that my life wouldn't have any sort of meaning if I wouldn't be an aeronautical engineer, or I would be less happy, because happiness is inherent, it's me. And it's what I keep telling myself: if I be an aeronautical engineer, I'll be happy. But then the happiness wouldn't reduce if one wouldn't be an aeronautical engineer, or it wouldn't increase to any other extent or level if they were to be an aeronautical engineer. But for the question of um, whether or not, like this being this aeronautical engineer, then why should we first of all think of it? Then I think
Listen to
again,
the question. Listen to the question. The question is, happiness is not dependent upon ice cream or aeronautical engineer. Correct?
correct.
Okay. If it is not dependent upon that, then why at all should I even strive? Why at all should I even work hard to become an aeronautical engineer? Forget it. Anyway, I'm happy.
Yeah, so that's what I thought, because that's my duty.
So what is the purpose of a duty?
I think I should like contemplate more on this question and then be able to come up with a better answer.
Okay, all right. Does Megha have any answer to what we are discussing? Is Megha following the discussion?
Yeah, but I didn't understand it completely.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I get confused.
you got confused. Okay, all right. Okay, so tell me, what is that you have understood so far? Based on what you heard from Manya Akka, what is that you have understood so far?
We should not have anger or greed in us.
What is the source of anger? She said source of anger is desire. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what we are discussing, Megha, is then having a desire, should there not be any desires then? Because the source of anger or the source of greed is desire, then should we drop desire? There shouldn't be no desire. That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, then will you stop eating your favorite food? No desire, right? Desire is the cause of anger. Stop eating your favorite food. Stop watching your favorite cartoon. Stop going to school. No desire. No desire. Right? So stop everything, no?
Yeah.
So then will it work like that?
I could understand a bit.
Okay, but is the question clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Whatever the presentation that Manya did is correct. The source of the anger is desire. I want ice cream. I am not getting ice cream, causes anger. I want to be an aeronautical engineer. I'm not becoming aeronautical engineer, can also cause anger. So just because something is called as an aeronautical engineer for which I need to study, and ice cream is something that I eat, at the desire level, both are desires. Is that clear so far?
Yeah.
To Namit, Aditya, and Manya also. Can Manya come on to the video?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. So at the level of desire, everything is a desire. Whether you want to eat ice cream, whether you want to wear a dress, whether you want to talk to somebody, whether you want to go to school, whether you want to become something, everything is a desire. What is desire? Desire is something that is not there now that you want to have. Correct? So ice cream I don't have, I want to have. Aeronautical engineer, I am not right now, I want to have. I like a cloth, I want to have. So that is what the quality of a desire is. So desire is what? Is something in the future, because it is not there in the present. That's why it's desire. It's something that propels me. It makes me move towards future. If I don't have a desire, what is the way in which I can travel? There is no particular direction I can travel, no? So it's the desire that gives me the direction. Is this clear so far? So I want us to be very clear, first of all, about what is desire, the quality of the desire. Then what is the purpose of a desire? Desire is the one which gives you direction. See, for example, if you did not have the desire for ice cream, you wouldn't open the fridge. If you did not have the desire, let's say, to be, let's say, the judge, you wouldn't enroll yourself into CLAT. If you did not have the desire to come and present in the Gita session today, you wouldn't prepare. So it's a desire that propels you. So is there anything wrong with the desire? The desire is not the problem in life. It is what kind of desire you are picking. You have to be clear about that. So let's understand that. So the nature of the desire. Why do I want to become a judge? Why do I want to become an aeronautical engineer? Why do I want to wear this dress? Why do I want to eat this ice cream? Why do I want to do whatever that I am doing to fulfill the desire? So why I am behind that desire? Why that desire is important? That is the important question here. Am I eating ice cream? It's okay to eat ice cream. Nothing wrong in that. It's okay to eat a chocolate. Nothing wrong in that. It's okay to see a movie. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to wear a dress. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to hear a song. Nothing wrong with that. But when I do not understand why I have to fulfill that, for what purpose it is, then it becomes a meaningless desire. There is no meaning that you can give to the desire. Why are you eating ice cream? Oh, just so that, it's such a pleasure. So then you're seeking pleasure. So any desire where you're seeking pleasure becomes your problem in life. Because the seeking pleasure can never be fulfilled completely. Like wonderful depiction that Manya gave, it's a fire to which you're constantly pouring ghee. So pleasure will never be satisfied. You eat one ice cream, for the time being it seems satisfied. You eat, after some time, you again have the desire to eat another ice cream. So this pleasure-seeking desire is the fundamental problem. Desire per se is not problem. Why are you seeking that? What is my purpose behind that particular desire? See, when you are in the society, you have to feed yourself, you have to clothe yourself, you have to have a shelter. There are some basic needs. So to fulfill those needs, you have to have a desire. Okay, I have to work to fulfill those needs. Then after your needs are fulfilled, you have so many others around you in wherever the society you are living. What is that I can contribute Why I should be looking at contribution? Because the very nature of your happiness, though it is inherent, when you are looking at only what can I get, what can I consume, then your happiness is your desire is a selfish desire. So for example, if in the home I bring ice cream so that only I can enjoy, then I can cause friction with others. In the home, if let's say there are 6 people, and I look at, okay, how everyone can also have ice cream, and I bring that, and I first share with them, then it is helping all of them also get it, but at the same time, I also can enjoy it. So let's do a simple experiment. Now, all of you for a moment, just sit straight. Sit straight. Just close your eyes, all of you. Close your eyes. So, all of you want good health, right? Yes? All of you want good health? Yeah, okay. So now all of you say, I want good health. Okay, let's say it 3 times. I want good health.
I want good health.
I want good health. Excellent. Okay, so now open your eyes. Okay. So each one of you wished, I want good health, right? How many times you wished?
Thrice.
Thrice. Okay, all right. Now please once again close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now this time, may all the people in this study circle today, may all of them have good health. May all the people here have good health. You say that now.
May all the people here have good health.
Say it once more.
May all the people here have good health.
Once again with your complete faith and trust and honesty, say it. May all the people here have good health.
May all the people here.
Very nice. Now please open your eyes. Okay. Is there a difference between these 2 desires? Both are desires, right?
Yeah.
I want good health is a desire. May all here have good health is also desire. Is there a difference?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Yes.
In the second one, more people benefit from your desire.
So when you said, may all here have good health, how many times you said it?
3 times.
How many times Manya said it?
3 times.
How many times Namit said it?
3 times.
How many times Megha said it?
3 times.
So totally how many times it was said?
12.
And in any of their prayers, were you also included?
Yeah.
When they were saying, may all have good health?
Yeah.
You said only 3 times, but how many times you got it?
12.
In the first one, how many times you got it?
Thrice.
You are only getting it once. Yeah, thrice, right?
Yeah.
Because you said it, I want, I want, I want. Whereas the moment you said, may all get it, in this room, when all of them started saying it, you got it how many times?
12.
12 times. Are you able to see the distinction between these 2 desires?
Yeah.
Manya, is this, can you explain what is the distinction you see?
So here, Vijayji, just like the shloka we chant, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, we said that, like, we say that all the living beings are everybody in this world, may they have good health and a good life and all the good aspects of life. Similarly, when when many people say it, and when we include everyone, are like, so if we say it one time, we might get it in certain amount, but then when everybody says and everybody prays for the well-being of all, then we get it in a much better way. For example, here in this example, when I do it just for me, it's 3. But then when just the people in this study circle say that we all have good health, then we get it more. That is 12 times.
So abundance. So what you offer comes to you in abundance. What you say, I want, gets limited. So a desire for offering naturally, and also another thing I want you to notice, when you are wishing, may all have good health, how did you personally feel? How did you feel? Did you feel sad?
Well, kind of selfless, less selfish,
What it was?
less selfish.
Less selfish, correct. But my question is, how did you feel? Did you feel angry, sad, worried, stressed? How did you feel?
So we felt happy and blessed ourselves. Like we felt blessed, like we
But
ourselves felt
I want
blessed.
health. Oh, what if I don't get health? Can be a worry. But here, when you're offering, was there any worry?
No.
No.
So one is, when you offered, you got back in abundance and you naturally were at peace, happiness, isn't it? So a desire which is selfless, which is for the service, is absolutely okay. And that is how you offer something meaningful to life. The sun is shining not for himself. The wind is not blowing for himself. So they are in the process of offering. Is that clear? So
Yes, Vijay.
a desire with the yagna bhava, offering. Yagna means offering. A desire with yagna bhava is what makes the world go on. Yeah. So that's where, like Manya said, from a selfish desire is the one which causes greed and that can lead to anger if it is not fulfilled. A selfish desire can be taking you down that path. But a selfless desire, see, for example, in Light of the Self Foundation, we have the desire to reach many, many, many children with Bhagavad Gita, with iLead program, with various programs that are there. That's also desire. But that desire makes us feel very, very happy, peaceful. And there is so much of blessings that come our way when we are part of such a selfless desire. So it's not the desire that is the problem, it is the attitude behind the desire that is the issue. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yes, Vijay. Also, in such kind of desires, as you said, there's like, for example, in the Light of the Self, the kind of vision that we have, we don't have any kind of worry or stress about it.
Correct. See, though there is so much of, many things are happening. For example, there are more than some 30 plus Gita study circles happening, more than some 20 plus AVSC study circles happening. So many people are in Japa Yagna, so many circles, so many thousands of people are involved. But there is no worry or tension or stress. So Namit, is it bringing clarity?
Yes, sir.
Can you say what is that you now understood from this whole discussion?
Yes, sir. Sir, desire is like something you want and like I want ice cream. I want to be an aeronautical engineer. That is desire, and it's totally fine to have desires, but we shouldn't seek pleasure of a desire. If I tell I like ice cream and I want ice cream, So it's also important to know why I'm eating ice cream. So then I'll tell eating ice cream for pleasure. Then it will mean that because Prabhuji and all we constantly telling that I am only bliss, and all this other happiness that we seek in the outside world is always temporary, and it just keeps on growing. It's endless. It keeps on growing. Like Manya told, the greediness. It just keeps on growing. So it's also important why we have that desire. It's totally fine to have desire, because desire is what pushes us to do something, like pushes us in the sense that it encourages us, or keeps us focused on what we are doing. So it's important. If I didn't have desire to learn Bhagavad Gita, I wouldn't have come to these classes itself. So it's important to have desire. If without desire we can't achieve anything. We need to have desires. Even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had desires. Everyone had desires, but it's important of what kind of desires they had, because all of us are human beings, and all of us have desires. Even though some are great people, the jnanis, everybody has desires, but the speciality of desires and jnani is that they uh, uh, they seek for the happiness of everybody. They're not only worried about themselves. That's that's what makes jnani special. Because their desire is selfless, and they're not worried only about themselves, and even they're worried about others. Um, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was taking others' sufferings. So many people came to his house and told their difficulties. He was so compassionate. He was taking others' desires. I mean others' sufferings as his sufferings. Um, so desire. Once again, it's fine to have desires, and but we need to keep in mind that it shouldn't be it shouldn't be about seeking pleasure. So I'm not telling we shouldn't have ice cream. It's okay and fine to have ice cream, but we shouldn't get greedy on that. I want ice cream because you had once you had given this example. If we eat like we get greediness, if we eat many chocolates, it we get stomach ache. So also greediness affects us. It doesn't affect anybody. It doesn't affect somebody else. It affects us only. So we need to be aware of what desires we have, and if our desires are fine and they are good and help and selfless, they'll definitely they'll definitely will come with actions, and will have good results.
Excellent, excellent. Megha, do you want to share? Are you there, Megha?
Yeah.
Okay, now has this whole discussion brought clarity? Is this clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that you want to say, Megha?
We all have desires actually, but we should have limit in our desires. We shouldn't go too much. Like if we want something like junk food or biscuits or such stuff, and if we done so too much, our health will go down. So we should have desires, but we should not have it to such a extent.
Correct. That is one point. Any desire, we should have clarity. What is the limit? You cannot keep on eating ice cream. Correct. What is the other important point that came out of the discussion? What is the distinction between a selfish desire and a selfless desire? Could you understand that?
No.
Okay, all right. So you can once again listen to the discussion once when the video is uploaded. So important to know, one is what is desire and what kind of desires we need to cultivate and what kind of desires we need to learn how to manage. So there are some desires which we need to cultivate. So serving others, that's the desire that helps you to bring greater purpose and meaning for your own life. Selfish desires, you need to know how to manage them. What is need versus what is greed. Be able to draw the distinction. Anything more, Aditya or Manya wants to say? Manya, from your side?
There's nothing exactly that I need to add afresh, but then it's all the same that Namit and Aditya shared already. It's a question about now that I get a clarity on the question on why like should I be really having the desire to be an aeronautical engineer or anything, any other profession for that matter, and should I be sad after if at all one can't achieve that goal they have set for themselves. So first of all, if I have this aim that I want to be an aeronautical engineer or I want to be a judge, then the question I should ask myself is why do I want to be that? So if my answer is I want to be a judge so that I can earn money and maybe the respect in my position in the society will increase, and maybe if I have some cases which include which involve some ministers, then maybe I can get a huge amount of money from them. So if that is my answer, then that is the kind of desire that I shouldn't be having, and that's the hint that this desire that I have is wrong and it will lead to greed and anger. But then, if my answer to this question is I want to make the society a better person, a better place to live in for all the people in it, and I want to be able to do my duty properly, which is to give justice and to serve people, then I now have the clarity that my desire is a right one, and that I must do my best and to be able to fulfill the desire.
Excellent. So see, that is what is called as a in harmony with dharma. So when, say for example, what is body's dharma? It feels hungry. So then, to fulfill that hunger, eating enough food is dharma. This body may feel cold, so wearing the right dress to remove that cold is dharma. So whatever you do, which is in line, in harmony with the natural way how things are, is going to lead to a happy, healthy, peaceful way of life. So any desire, you can calibrate based on whether it is bringing you at the end of the day a sense of happiness, peace, fulfillment, or is it making you more angry, irritated, worried, stressed? This is the yardstick. This is the litmus test, or this is the barometer by which you can say, yeah, this is the right kind of a desire. Not that you shouldn't have, it is not about should and shouldn't. It is simply about when you go in that direction, this is the fruit. When you put a chili seed, you will get a chili fruit. When you put a mango seed, you get a mango fruit. So therefore, it is not about you should not do, you should do. It's not like that. It is simply when your desires are selfish, they naturally lead to anger, worry, stress, tension. So I want health. What if I lose my health? Who will look after me? Worry can come. May all be healthy. How can I work towards making everybody healthy? So my whole focus is on how to bring health to others. So that will naturally bring health within me. So like that, selfish versus selfless is the choice one has. All right. Shall we end our today's session? So will Megha be able to present in the next session with her device?
Yes.
All right. Are these discussions heavy for Megha, or are you following Megha, these discussions?
I'm following.
Following. Okay, all right. And for others, is the approach that we have, is this okay? Aditya, Namit, Manya?
Yes, sir.
I do feel it's perfect.
All right. Yeah. Wonderful. So then let's go to end our today's session. Will Megha lead us through the ending prayers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nano Nanambudu Nanalla Deha Malabuddhi Nanalla Satchidananda Shivananane Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. Antarjyotiः बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परा ज्योतिर्ज्योतिः स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः शिवोऽस्म्यहम्. आत्मदर्शनं ब्रह्मदर्शनं ब्रह्मदर्शनं सत्यदर्शनम्. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावनीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखदात्
मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्।
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग्
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु।
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु
सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु।
सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु
सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु।
सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु
सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु।
सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु हरि ओम तत्सत्
Thank you very much, Megha. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Om Sat.
See you all next Saturday. Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari
Hari Om
Om.
sir.